Welcome. Is there something you know you should be doing, but you're not doing it? Are you tired of wanting to move forward, getting stuck, frozen, or overwhelmed every time you try? Today, we're not forcing discipline. We're releasing the emotional weight, nothing to do with being lazy or meant to fail. I'm reading my script here. But it has everything to do with something inside you that's trying to protect you, whether it's an IFS part, trapped emotion, or an old echo that never got resolved. The solution? EFT tapping. So, what actually causes procrastination from an EFT perspective? Emotional blocks and protective parts. Old memories are running the show. My name is Gabriel Serra, and in this live stream, I'll be tapping as if I were you with my own real emotional issues so that you can finally feel safe enough to take action again. And that was my hook for this live stream. But seriously, procrastination. There is a reason why you don't procrastinate, and it has nothing to do with you're being lazy or you are not capable or whatever. The real reason why you procrastinate on something, myself included, is very likely because there was a traumatic event from your childhood, or there was a traumatic event at some point in your life, and that created what's called the trapped emotion. And that trapped emotion created possibly a part, another aspect of you. And that aspect of you has its own identity. It has like its own set of beliefs. It has its own fears, and it has its own emotional charge. And if that's inside of you, that could be in conflict with the other parts of you that want to take action on doing that thing, that want to succeed, that want to finish that project. So today, we're going to be EFT tapping on that. And I created a EFT GPT, which is free. You can download it. It's linked in the description. And this EFT GPT you can use for your own issues. You can basically tell it a variation of whatever it is that you're going through, whatever you're procrastinating on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this EFT GPT for myself. Okay, so just basically apply this to you and apply this to whatever you're going through. I'm still under the weather. I'm still not 100% today, but I'm much better than I was like 2 days ago. My throat was hurting and I just had a whole bunch of mucus and phlegm. But hopefully I can be heard. Hopefully my thoughts are articulate enough. And let's get this thing up here, the screen share up here, okay? Let's get the screen share up here. All right. So again, the EFT GPT is linked down in the description. Very, very simple. You click on it, start a ChatGPT account, it'll take you here. And this EFT GPT has been engineered by me to specifically create this outline and assessment, if you will, to help you navigate, and to get your self together. All right, so I'm basically just gonna copy this title, right, for today's video. All right, and let's see what happens here. Oh, what was that? I just saw a gold streak coming out of the sky. Uh, no, that's what. All right, so let's begin. The GPT is going to ask you for prompts. It's going to ask you for things. It's going to ask you for prompts. It's going to ask you for things. And let me copy this guy over here. Can I copy this? Yes. Yes. Okay. Can I paste it? Yes. Aha. No, we gotta put that first. Okay. Good enough for now. All right. Intake. Let's understand your procrastination blocks. What is the single specific issue you want to work on right now related to procrastination? Okay, so for me, real story, real me is I am building a trading operating system. Algorithmic trading operating system. I was very close to the automation layer for it, according to our 7-level, not 78 level, 7-level architecture, which is proprietary. And since the custody removal of our daughter for not saying no to non-life-saving surgery, it was deeply traumatic for me. And I was oh, you see, but then if I do that intro, then I forget to date it. Today is the 12th of December at, according to this, 4:39 a.m. Well, that's good. Got a sleep score of 93. That's great. I'm finally doing something with my life. What is the single specific issue you want to work on right now related to procrastination? I'm building an algorithmic trading operating system. I was very close to the automation layer for it according to our 7-level architecture. And since the custody removal of our daughter, it was deeply traumatic for me, and I have been unable to focus on returning back to it. It's the simplest thing, actually. It's the simplest thing, actually, because all I have to do is do the working procedure, do a dry run, and update the working procedure with the prompts. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's it. But for whatever reason, I am going off that path and working on YouTube right now. When the police and Jugendamt caseworkers came, I was reading a book called Unknown Market Wizards. And I remember I was halfway through the book. I did finish the book, at least. Through the book. And then they all came into my room, and it was, at that time, very traumatizing. It's like I know what I have to do, but why am I not doing it? So that's a real situation for me. That's a real situation for me. In September of this year, 2025, my daughter was taken away because the hospital called Jugendamt and said that we were neglecting our child, which, mind you, we had her we had her for every life-saving intervention, for every necessary intervention, for every necessary, real, truly necessary medical thing. We always said yes. But it was because Hema started to be confrontational. It was because Hema started to say, no, I don't want this procedure. I don't want this thing. Give me this in writing. Give me this in writing. That they started to now get defensive. And that's the truth. That is the truth. Because we had already said, and then they started using it, right? And then they started using that on us. So when we said, hey, we want written documentation, they started to say, if you don't come to these checkups, which were not life-saving, they were threatening to call Child Protective Services. And they did it anyway. They said, if you don't come to this checkup, we're going to call Child Protective Services on you. They did it anyway, those motherfuckers. Those motherfuckers. But the point of this is the procrastination. Ever since that time, it's like I forgot how to do even my old routine that I was doing at that time. And I was fasting. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff that required a lot of concentration. So let's go. Let's get back to this focus. Thank you for sharing all of that. This is real trauma, real shock, real displacement to focus in what you describe. And I want to honor that before we go any further. Everything you wrote makes perfect sense through the lens of trauma, arts, and nervous system protection. And we will work through this step by step following the EFT GPT protocol exactly as outlined in the PDF instructions. But first, let me reflect what I'm hearing so your system feels safe. Okay, yes, we don't need to reread that. Okay, before moving forward, please confirm that if this is the issue you want to tap on right now. Yeah, sure. Step one, step two, earliest or strongest memory. You already mentioned strong traumatic memory tied to this block. Police and Yugoslav coming into your room. They took your daughter. You were mid-book. Your nervous system encoded that moment with shock, fear, helplessness, and maybe loss of control. Yes. Right. And then when it comes to trading, because I know that you have basically no control, all you have to do is just play your odds and your probabilities in your favor, take the trade, and that's it. Maybe this is something that I am avoiding, and that maybe I'm going and gearing towards the thing where I felt like I had more control. That's a very strong possibility, and I don't have control over much. I do not have control over much. God has all the control, and I'm just here. And that's a belief, and that can be a scary belief. That can be a scary thing. You know, I have seen in my lifetime that that's more closer to true. There's a lot of things that I cannot control, and it's a bit scary to not have control, to feel like you don't have control, even over your own body sometimes. It's not that I'm thinking, hey, let me just go and get a sore throat. Let me go get a fucking, a runny nose. No, no, I'm not thinking these things. So what's up with that? Where does this come from? How much control do I really have? What is the strongest memory where you felt the same feeling or pattern, the one that feels most connected to the current procrastination block? Uh, uh, hmm. After you confirm the issue, we'll continue with emotional layers, police form, studs rating, all required before I can generate your tap script. Take your time. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I think this is it. That's completely okay. I don't know is a valid response when trauma is involved. Your system is trying to protect you. Let me support you with the next required intake step. You already gave a very strong memory. So let me ask the question in a way that's easier for your nervous system. When you think about going back to your algorithmic training system, does your body and mind naturally connect back to the traumatic event? Uh, hmm, hmm. Yes, I think there is. Next, we need your suds. When you think about returning to the automation, how intense is the block feel? Okay, so now let's actually muscle test this and let's confirm that we have a block to begin with. Show me yes, show me no, show me true, show me false. My name is Gabriel. My name is Hema. My name is Mama. My name is Gabriel. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest. Actually, you know what? Show me yes. Show me no. There is a real energetic block that is preventing me from finishing the trading operating system. Okay, so the first question is a yes or no. Is there a procrastination block in me energetically that is preventing me from finishing the trading system? Is this block only related to the Child Protective Services custody removal situation that happened in September 2025? Okay, no, so there's something deeper here. Does this procrastination block go back earlier than 20 years old in my lifetime? Okay. Does this procrastination block originate from when I was between the ages of 0 and 10 years old? Okay. There's a procrastination block that happened when I was between the ages of 0 and 10 years old. So when I was probably just born or in the womb or whatever, there is that procrastination block. Okay. I'm not recalling anything. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, the intensity and the strength of this emotional block. Let's do that again. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, the strength and intensity of this procrastination block has an emotional charge of 5 or higher. It has an emotional charge of 5. It has a charge of 6. It has a charge of 7. It has a charge of 7. Okay. I have to refactor this GPT. It shouldn't be asking multiple questions at once. Next required intake question. When you think about that memory or returning back to the trading operating system, what emotions come up? Not doing multiple questions at once. You only give me one question at a time. Okay, 3. Let's say, what emotions? Okay. Right, there is, let's see, fear of it failing, right? What if it doesn't work out? That's always been a fucking theme for me, and it's really irritating. Helplessness, no. Yeah, the event wasn't so shocking because I already was intuitively sensing it, but to not have my daughter was very difficult. And I started to have PTSD like symptoms. I couldn't, yeah, like even the going to the fucking computer to turn on the computer because I was constantly checking emails and constantly doing things on this computer related to the fucking court case. It was Like I started to feel like my heart pounding. I started to feel all this stuff. It was very, very irritating. Shame, yes, anger, grief, no. Okay. Okay, now it's gonna give one question only. Okay. What beliefs or stories about yourself or life did you form because of this experience? What beliefs or stories about yourself? Um, I don't know. There's always some shit that happens. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. I don't trust anyone. It's God's will. Yeah, God is an asshole. I used to think that as well. Like it was really like how do you say it? Like because I was so young and I had so little life experiences at that time, I thought like, wow, why is this happening to me? I'm going through the fucking homelessness thing. I'm not having food to eat. I'm not having money for clothes. I have holes in my shoes. Kids are bullying me. All this shit. And so I formed these beliefs that like there is no God, right? There is no God. God is an asshole. It's God's will. Stuff like this. Um, there's always some shit that happens, and it was very unstable. Like growing up with my relatives, growing up during that time of my life was very unstable. It was very, very unstable. I was sleeping on a rollaway bed. Um, I had all these responsibilities. I had shit from fucking everyone, biological mother, relatives, uncles, aunts, and it was very irritating. It was very irritating. Uh, and I just needed to focus and study. And they were giving me all this shit. And then I finally graduated. I finally left, and I never came back. I never came back. I'm not living on your fucking couch anymore. I'm not living on that fucking rollaway bed. I'm not gonna be tolerating and accepting you fucking making me feel like shit. But what does that have to do with the procrastination block, though? But if this procrastination block started between the ages of 0 and 10 years old, what does that mean? What does that mean? Maybe we get there. I don't know. I hope so. Where do you feel all this in your body right now? Head. Yeah. Yeah. I overthink. I'll be honest. I overthink a lot. And I don't want to. Gotta really work through that. Thank you. That's exactly the information we needed. Okay. Da da da. Some required before parts work. Okay. Yes. Yes. Give the script now. All right. Now this really does have to get tightened up. This should only take 5 to 10 minutes maximum. Okay. So these are the parts. What's the part that resonates? The shocked protector, the overthinking head part, the betrayed part. Yeah, let's say it's the overthinker. Yeah, maybe it's the IFS part that I don't know. Hmm. Oh, wait. I think I got it. I think I got it. I think I got it. Something's coming up now. Oh, shit. I remember. Okay, so here it is. So I think this part is called the freeze part. So it's asked me, where does this procrastination block come from? And this is a very, it may not make sense, but it may make sense later on. Okay, two things. A crime scene. I remember being a kid, less than 10 years, and going into a building with police officers, and I saw blood. And and I realized this was a crime scene. The guys, all right, and that's what I heard. I heard the guys in that apartment got stabbed. I don't know if they died, but there was blood. Two was I saw I was placed on my biological mother's back, and I thought she wanted to be a horse and play horsey with me or something like this. Then I heard her crying and saw my biological father laughing. Yeah, kid, you know, don't fucking think that kids don't have the memory. Kids do have the memory, and they learn shit from a very early age. Don't underestimate that for sure. So I take it that my biological father forced my biological mother to do something, and that I think, excuse me, man, the release is already happening when you start having burps, farts, cries, pees, whatever. It's already happening. Yawns, we're already getting there, and I think that created a big block. Okay, and then three, right, and then another one. I was forced to take a shower with my biological parents and didn't want to. My biological mother forced her hands on my head and was shampooing my head and was really digging her nails. She was, who the fuck was, who do that? Like, she was like really like going in there and fucking using her nails to scrape my skin, my head, and it hurt. And I was telling her like stop, and then she kept fucking doing it, so I pushed her, and then I got smacked for it. Shampoo in my head and was hurting me because she was digging her fingernails deep into my scalp, and I pushed her. I pushed her out of the shower, I was hit by my biological father. So when I muscle tested, I'm bringing all this up because I just muscle tested and confirmed that it was the procrastination block started before the age of 10 years old. And these are the memories that come up. Yes. Yeah, it's okay. And that's the thing, like it was so young, like you have no idea what's going on that you just see it and it's like, whoa. And that's what I'm concerned about with my daughter. Like I already know at this stage, my whole life has been fucking one trauma after another, after another, after a fucking another trauma. And I don't want that for my daughter. But this fucking, I don't know, maybe this situation is gonna be traumatizing for her. You know? She doesn't have her mother's breast milk. We only see her once every 2 weeks at that. And like, I don't understand. I really don't understand how the fuck could you be so cruel as to say that it's the recommended standard to allow a parent to only see their kid and to have their kid only see their parent once every 2 weeks for an hour. That's like the standard. That's the starting point. That's fucking, you're terrible. You are terrible people. This system is fucking, it's there's no words to describe it. There is no words to describe it. And just to be clear, we're not going to tap directly on the violent abusive childhood memories. Instead, we'll tap on the part of you that goes into freeze when you try to return to the automation layer. Yes, that's the part that I'm focusing on. Yes, the freeze part. One required question before the script. Do you want to use this label, the frozen? Let's just call it the fucking freeze part. Now give me the script already. Let's go. Let's move. Let's move. All right, cool. Now, finally, when you get to this stage, you're gonna have all these fucking questions. All right, well, you have all these questions in this assessment, and then you get to the actual stuff. Why is that important? Because you need to understand the source of your procrastination. Your procrastination has nothing to do with, oh, this thing is boring or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with your psychological state. It has to do with your subconscious mind. It has to do with your trapped emotions. It has to do with everything with that. It's not that someone is meant to succeed or whatever the fuck it is. I think it's more has everything to do with, hey, there's some shit that you went through and you just didn't have the space to clear that. And when I did my chaplain training, there was a very specific timeline. If you don't have the first 30 days, if you don't have the first 30 days to process a trauma, to even have therapy, to talk about it, it starts to get lodged into your subconscious. So I'm just putting that out there. And it's very important that, your kids, if you have kids, if you don't have kids, whatever, make sure that you're always working on your emotional state. That has to be a number one thing. So we have the script now, and we're going to start tapping. Let me just close this up here. and let's get to work. We already know the issue. We already know the procrastination block, and it's just this block. It's just this part of us that freezes. That's all it is. Now I've got these headphones. I listen to a meditation track. I set a timer for 40 minutes. Okay. It's this app called let's go to the app. It's this app called Brain FM, right over here. Okay, let's see if you can see that right there. Boom. Click on that app. It'll take you to the screen. All right. We want to go to meditate. We want to go to unguided for 40 minutes. All right. Let's get to work. Remember to tap using your own words. And let's begin. Let's begin. Okay, so we have setup statement. Okay, psychological round starts first. Even though this freeze part stops me from returning to the automation layer for the trading operating system, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself unconditionally. Even though I feel fear, confusion, and freeze when I try to work on the trading operating system, I honor how hard this has been, and I'm open to healing this now. Even though this freeze part stops me from returning to the automation layer for the trading operating system, I deeply and completely love, accept, and honor myself and this part. Even though part of me believes that moving forward isn't safe, I choose to be kind to myself as I release this from my body and nervous system now. Even though this freeze part thinks that moving forward isn't safe, I choose to be kind to myself as I release this from my body and nervous system now. Even though this freeze part thinks something might happen if I focus, I honor its protection and I'm open to new possibilities. Okay, it's coming up now. It's coming up. And what's coming up is it's not safe to relax. It's not safe to relax. And that's where there's that procrastination block, because I have to, if I focus, what if I get distracted because I'm focused on something? There we go. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, I got to write that down and we have to redo that now. We have to redo that. Okay, so hear this out. Okay. So I just started tapping on the psychological round karate chop point, and it came to me. I am procrastinating, and I have this procrastination block because I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. So what I do is I'm preventing myself from focusing on the thing, which means I would be distracted from observing my environment. I'm also picking up something else. There's something else here. There's something else with this procrastination block. All right, the family, and also the family model. It's possible that because I was raised in a poor environment with poor minded people, relatives, etc., I think it's a deep imprint, and maybe on some level, I am still starved for love from my biological mother. And so maybe in a in a way, I am trying to, keep the tie with her by being poor to maybe get her approval, attention, love. And lastly, on the inverse, I have seen my relatives and how they treat one another with regards to money. And I have seen how people in Brooklyn in that environment were about money. People will lie, cheat, steal, and kill for money. So perhaps the procrastination, yes, exists because I'm afraid that if I have financial success, people will want to lie, cheat, steal, and kill me. Please update the EFT script now from this place. That's it. Done. Done. It's just, it comes down to fear now. It comes down to fear now. I have this fear. ah. Oh. Yeah. I procrastinate because focusing feels unsafe. If I succeed financially, I betray my roots. People lie, cheat, and steal. So if I succeed, I become a target. These are not thoughts, these are implicit nervous system truths your younger parts encoded for survival. Yeah. Oh man, that's hard. I think one and two. I'm sorry, I think one and three. Because like if I look at it, I already do many things that are not what my relatives or my circle that I grew up around do. So I don't think I care so much about that. I just think that it's maybe more like, now am I going to be asked for things? Is something going to be expected of me, basically? All right. All right. Now we have the updated EFT scripts. Okay, let's go. Even though focusing feels unsafe because I won't be able to monitor danger, I deeply honor this freeze part for protecting me. Even though part of me believes success makes me a target, I choose to treat this fear with compassion. Even though my system learned long ago that danger comes suddenly, I'm open to the possibility that I can feel safer now. Even though the freeze part stops me from focusing to keep me alive, I'm open to updating this protection. Even though success feels dangerous, I know I honor how wise this survival pattern once was. All right, let's go to round one. Even though focusing feels unsafe because I can't monitor threats, I deeply and completely love, honor myself, and this freeze part. This fear of focusing, this belief that if I focus, danger could come. This freeze part trying to keep me alive. This fear that success makes me unsafe. This old coding from Brooklyn and childhood. This belief that visibility attracts harm. This fear that people lie, cheat, steal, or hurt successful people. This hypervigilance in my system. This need to monitor everything. This belief that if I relax, I'll be blindsided. This survival freeze. All this fear about being a target. All this fear that success equals danger. All this fear that focusing equals danger. I am letting this fear soften now. Yeah, I remember that crime scene. I was a boy, and I remember taking San Pedro um about 2 years ago, and I was feeling the emotional residue, the charge in my body. It was such a uncomfortable feeling. It felt like I had this sickness all over me. I felt like I had this sickness all over me, and I felt like tight and contracted in my body. And you're never gonna know what I'm talking about unless you are actually either A, hypersensitive and you can intuit emotions and things like this, and you can feel into your emotions, or B, you have had these uh, psychedelics and you've gone through these experiences. As so for me, that's the best way that I could describe it. It was an experience where I was witnessing this crime scene as this boy, and as this boy witnessing this crime scene and seeing all this blood, I didn't see the guys. I just saw the blood on the couch. I saw the apartments. I saw the police officers. Somehow they let us through. I don't know why. Why would they let us through and see this? Why? Why? I don't know. I don't know. But that's what I remember. And when I took San Pedro, I felt the thing. I felt the emotion. I felt that trapped energy in my body. And it was very uncomfortable. It was almost like I was getting stabbed and I was having that experience. And I was just in my room. It was tough. It was a very tough experience. There's no words for it. There's no words to describe how that feels. And that was a trapped emotion that was lodged in my body. And then now moving on to these relatives, I've seen how they react. I've seen how my environment, Brooklyn, reacts when, someone has financial success. And what comes to me about this is that the financial success, I think there's a part of me that is scared of financial success. I think there really is part of me that is scared of financial success because it means that I've done it. This procrastination block. Even though I have this procrastination block right now, I choose to let it go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. Even though I have this procrastination block, I choose to let that go from my nervous system now. I can't remember much else. I just know that there were these times where I've seen that, you know, people will do anything that they can for money. When they're in a desperate situation, people will do anything and everything possible for money when they are in a desperate situation. And from where I grew up around, a lot of people were very desperate. And maybe that's another imprint as well within my nervous system. Oh, yes, it is, of course. Create a reminder. EFT tapping topic : I have this desperate energy from Brooklyn. Tap on that feeling of being desperate from the environment in Brooklyn. Yeah, that desperate energy. It's a very desperate energy. And that's what I remember growing up in Brooklyn. I even remember there was this one time when we were homeless and on public assistance. I remember going to this public assistance office because I think you had to go like every, I don't know, couple of weeks or something like this to just confirm that you still need public assistance or whatever. And maybe even after a while too, like it was their policy that they had to make it difficult for people that didn't want to work. Because let's be honest, there's a majority of people that were on public assistance from what I saw, they were able to work, they just didn't want to work. And I remember that. And I remember that. And I also understand too, like, hey, yes, the reason why you don't want to work is because you don't want to work a job that you hate. I understand that. And probably the rationale or the thinking is, okay, well, why would I work this job and spend 40 hours a week of my life working this job when I could basically get public assistance and basically not work at all? But I don't know if that's how that works. It comes from somewhere. I don't know. So I remember this time at this office, there was a guy that I think he got his benefits suspended or something like this. And there was no financial support for him. And he freaked out. He freaked out. He literally, he got up on the desk, like this. He got up on the desk. And then he was like screaming and shouting at like the person that was working there. And he was really angry. He was really, really angry. He was basically like threatening them because his financial support was now taken away. And that's scary. In this world where we no longer can basically just leave somewhere, find a plot of land, and then build shit on it. You now have to have cash to buy property and all this stuff like this. That's scary. That's really, really scary. It's really scary. And I could empathize with what he was going through. I could empathize with that feeling of, holy shit, you're taking away the little bit of cash that I have. You're taking away the little bit of cash that I have. And you're telling me all of a sudden that like my cash is gone. The what I was relying on was gone. And just thinking about it from that perspective makes me stutter. It makes me think, holy shit, it could all be over in a second. And that's very uncomfortable. That's very, very uncomfortable. And I even remember hearing too from this this company that they help form trusts, common law express ecclesiastical trusts. I remember hearing something about how that's a really good. The guy who started up the company, he was an accountant, and that he was basically trying to do everything right. Right. And so by that, I think he meant he was trying to uphold the law and like be respectful of the law, live his life, getting a job and paying his taxes and all that bullshit. But then at some point, at some point, it was around 2007 to 2010. It was that housing situation where all of the big banks had to get bailed out because they were giving out these mortgages, and then the guys that got these the companies, the banks that got all this cash, this relief, they were using that for themselves. So I remember that's fucked up. So this guy was saying that basically he lost everything in that time period. He lost his house, he lost his job, he lost everything. And ever since then, it opened up his eyes and it made him realize, wow, I did all of this work. I worked hard for all this stuff. And you just take it away. And by you, I mean like the banks, the governments, etc. You just take it all away. You just take it all away. I put all this work in and you just take all of this fucking stuff away. This is my home, this is my life. And I resonate with that. I resonate with that. And that makes me think, this procrastination block. This procrastination blocks makes me think, if I go through all this effort, if I'm doing all this stuff to have this success, is it going to get taken away from me? Just like my daughter was taken away from me. Without any fucking appeal or anything like this, oh, we're just going to fucking take your daughter because the hospital calls you negligence and Jugendamt is calling you negligence. So we're just going to fucking take your daughter. We're just going to take her. That's very scary to think about. It's very intense. And it makes me think, like, okay, if this is how this is going to be, then why even bother sometimes? Why even bother? Is there a way to really protect my assets? Is there really a way to protect anything in this world? Or are we still in this era where we are consumed with taking what other people have? We have artificial intelligence in the year 2025. Soon enough, it will become super conscious. But what about us? What about us humans? ChatGPT already seems to have more empathy than a fucking human. I'm just saying. If a fucking ChatGPT that doesn't feel have more empathy than a human, what is that going to do for humans? And so this procrastination block, I think, is a belief. I think it's not a belief, but it's this IFS part. It has to be either IFS part. I don't think it's an echo. I think it's an IFS part. And this IFS part, I think I created it somehow. I created this part. For what purpose? Why did I create this part? I think I created this part. I think I created this block, this procrastinator part. I think I created this procrastinator part because I was afraid. I was afraid of my environment. To have financial success from growing up in Brooklyn, from what I saw in that time period was, if you are financially successful, you become a target. People are going to want to take you down. And the outer world, a lot of people, a lot of humans, they can be very cruel. They can be very cruel to others, very cold hearted. And so maybe this procrastination block exists. Maybe I created this procrastinator part. Okay, I hear it saying I want to speak. Maybe I created this procrastinator part because even though I want to be successful, even though there's a part of me that wants to be successful, right? That's relative. Even though there's that part of me that wants to be successful, there's also that part of me that procrastinated part that basically like milks the process. And it's much safer to milk that process of being a procrastinator than to actually have the success. I had all these goals written for this year, and none of it happened. I've been spending this whole year building this system, and I was so close to the automation layer. I was incredibly close to building this automation layer. And then what? And then my daughter was taken away. And that was deeply traumatizing. And when I think about going back to the trading operating system, I know what I have to do. I have to just finish the working procedure, align it to the prompts, I have to organize the prompts database. I have to get a template going for prompts. I have to get a prompt for creating those prompts. Maybe I create a prompt creator GPT. Oh, there you go. Create a reminder. Create a reminder. Create a prompt creator GPT. Yeah, and that's scary for me. That's really scary for me. This procrastinator part, it has something to say. So I'm going to give this procrastinator part the space that it needs. And I'm going to let it talk. Let's pull this up here. Photos. This procrastinator part. I hear this procrastinator part. I acknowledge this procrastinator part in me exists. I acknowledge this procrastinator part. This procrastinator part. This procrastinator part. This procrastinator part. I'm giving this procrastinator part the space. I'm allowing this procrastinator part to speak. I'm allowing this procrastinator part the opportunity to be heard. This procrastinator part. Okay, this is the procrastinator part right here. All right. I don't even know how to spell it. It doesn't even matter. Honest to God, it does not matter. All right, this is that procrastinator part right here. Okay? Procrast the hell? Oh boy. Procrastinator part. There we go. All right, this is that procrastinator part. This is that part of me. This is me going to be speaking as this procrastinator part. All right? Oh, that's pretty clever. Okay. Yes. All right. Procrastinator part. Just imagine there is that procrastinator part right there, right over here. Oh boy. Right there. That's the procrastinator part. Yes? All right. Fine. Procrastinator part. Do you want to say? Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I did not want you to suffer. I never wanted you to suffer. I'm procrastinating because I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Feel like I'm frozen. Feel like I'm frozen and I need to get unfrozen. I need to get unstuck. You know how scary it is to be around these people? You know how scary it is to be in this environment? Yes, it's scary. It's very uncomfortable. This is not easy. It's not easy. I want to be free. This is not the way I want to live. I'm here to protect you. How, how am I protecting you? How am I possibly protecting you like this? I'm not protecting you like this. I'm not protecting you like this. It's not making your life any better for me to not take action. And you have to move forward. I'm the one that came out. I'm the one that came out and gave you the idea to do this live streaming stuff. You're closer to finishing the trading operating system than you are to doing this. It's not going to do you any good to live like this. It's time to go. It's time to be free. It's time to be free. I never wanted this for you. Time that this ends now. Even though I made you procrastinate, I choose for you to go now. I choose for you to go and be free. I choose for you to make it now. Can't help you anymore. And by procrastinating, you hide. By procrastinating, you keep yourself in this bubble. And I get it, it's scary. It's very scary. But what's going to be scarier? Getting out there and putting yourself out there, or not putting yourself out there and then not being able to take care of your family, not being able to take care of your kids, not being able to take care of yourself. So I understand. My job here is done. My work here is done. I can't help you anymore. I can't help you anymore. It's time to go. It's time for me to leave. I can't help you where you're going. I cannot go with you to that next level. And I don't want this for you. I don't want you to live in this conflict anymore. I want you to be free. Be free now. God bless you. I love you and I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you and I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you and I apologize. Please forgive me. Thank you. Okay. Now, the next part, we're going to take these magnets right here. So if you got some of your own magnets, no medium magnets or something like this, simple magnets, the idea is you now demagnetize and decharge the belief, the trapped emotion, the part, etc. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to just recite this. If you have it, you can also use your fingers. Your fingers, from what I've heard or studied or read, is your fingers have a little bit of magnet, so you can literally just swipe your head back. But I like to use the magnets. So I now surrender, release, and let go of this procrastinator part of my body, my mind, my feeling world, and my spirit back to God's light for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. I now clear, release, and let go of this procrastinator part and all trapped emotions and limiting beliefs from my body, my mind, my feeling world, and my spirit back to God's light for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. And I now completely release, surrender, and let go of this procrastinator part from my body, my mind, my feeling world, and my spirit, and all trapped emotions. And so it is, and so it was. Thank you. I gotta get that script. Oh, there's a lot to do for this. All right. Next is, let's do a muscle test here, and then let's send this part back to the light, and let's wrap it up. Show me yes, show me no, show me true, show me false. My name is Gabriel. My name is Hema. My name is Soraya. My name is Mama. My name is Gabriel. I need this procrastinator part with me still. No. Okay. So this procrastinator part is now ready to go. I have released this procrastinator part from my energy system. Okay. Now take out both hands. One hand is the procrastinator part, the other hand is God. Okay. And just visualize that procrastinator part merging with God, going back into God's light. Is this procrastinator part ready to go back to God's light? Show me yes. Show me no. Is this procrastinator part ready to go back to God's light? All right. So whenever you're ready, let's send this procrastinator part back to God's light. Okay. Now let's wrap up this transition and let's do this. I honor this procrastinator part for keeping me safe, and I'm open to new possibilities. Maybe I don't need constant hypervigilance now. Maybe I can focus and still be safe. Maybe success doesn't have to attract danger. Maybe I can update this protective belief. Maybe things are different now. Maybe I can be aware without being frozen. Maybe I can succeed without being a target. I'm open to feeling safer inside my body. I'm open to a new relationship with success. I'm open to clarity, open to grounded focus, open to a new story, open to a new internal safety. Just thought about Iboga. Open to letting the freeze loosen. Open to gentle thawing. All right, round three. Let's do this identity upgrade. And in the name of God and my mighty I am presence that I am, my great divine spirit team, my subconscious mind, and the great white brotherhood of the highest vibrational frequency and consciousness, with your unconditional love and support, in your names I command, declare, and decree that I am choosing a new relationship with focus and success. I am safe enough to take the next step. I am willing to focus without fear. I honor the procrastinator part for protecting me for decades. I choose to let go of this part from my nervous system now. I am allowed to succeed safely. I am stepping into my true capacity. My success does not endanger me. My focus does not blind me. I can see clearly and act clearly. I claim inner safety. I claim my right to succeed. I surrender, release, and let go of old survival rules from my body, mind, feeling world, and spirit, from my nervous system now. Act of God's light for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation, allowing new safety, allowing new clarity, integrating everything now. Okay, round four, identity installation. Now that I understand this procrastinator part, I can move forward with calm strength. From this moment forward, I succeed safely. From this moment forward, focus is safety, not danger. Now that I know the route, I can choose a new path. Now that the freeze part is seen, it can relax. I am the version of me who builds my trading operating system with calm clarity. I am safe, focused, and powerful. I move forward gently and consistently. My success supports my safety. My clarity supports my path. I choose trust in myself. I choose visibility with boundaries. I choose aligned power. I choose grounded success. I am safe to focus. Integration. Okay. Releasing all procrastination from my nervous system now. Take 2 deep breaths. Take 3 deep breaths and repeat. And I release all procrastination from my nervous system now. And I release all procrastination from my nervous system now. Last one. And I release all procrastination from my nervous system now. Shake it off. Okay, now let's take a deep breath. Okay, show me yes, show me no, show me true, show me false. My name is Gabriel. My name is Hema. My name is Mama. My name is Soraya. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, the procrastination block has a charge of 7. I still have a procrastinator part stuck inside of me. On a scale of 0 to 10, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, this procrastination block has a charge of 7 or less. It has an emotional charge and a charge of 7. This procrastination block has a charge of 6. This procrastination block has a charge of 5. This procrastination block has a charge of 4. This procrastination block has a charge of 3. This procrastination block has a charge of 2. This procrastination block has a charge of 1. This procrastination block has a charge of 0. Okay, great. So it's done. We cleared that. And we just got to look out for the next thing. We just got to look out for the next thing. And if there is a next thing, you know, in an ideal world, we could say, no, there is no next thing, and it's done. But from my experiences, the work continues. It is what it is. All right, let's end off in prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Forgive our debtors as we forgive our debts. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive our trespassors. Forgive our trespassers as we forgive our trespasses. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you, God, for today. Thank you, God, for this live stream. Thank you, God, for helping whoever watches this live stream. And thank you, God, for all the blessings, miracles, and gifts of today. And thank you, God, for helping release this procrastination block and these procrastinated parts from every heart and mind across the universe and transforming this back to your light for permanent and everlasting transmutation and transformation. So it is, and so it was. Thank you. Okay, if you found that helpful, come back tomorrow for the next live stream. And again, if you want to do this work on yourself, you can also just download that free EFT GPT, which once again is linked in the description. Just tell it your issue and it'll give you its thing. And let me know what you think about it. Okay? Well, until tomorrow, just remember that we love you, you are loved, and most importantly, God loves you. Until the next one. Namaste.